Miss Turner's class. You need help with homework? It's Miss Turner's class. I got you. It's Miss Turner's class. What about if you didn't understand something in class? It's Miss Turner's class. I got you.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to yet another video. In today's video, we are focusing on Module 3, Lesson 26, where we are going to continue dividing. It says sort the goldfish into the fish bowls. Your fish bowls must have an equal number of fish in each bowl. The key word here is equal, you guys. So in order to make sure that these groups are equal, you'll notice I'm going to each fish bowl and distributing one fish before I go back to the original fish bowl and distribute another fish, a second fish. It's kind of like a pattern. And we are going to continue doing this until we run out of fish, or until we try to put one fish in a bowl and our groups are unequal. As you can see, this last fish makes my groups unequal. So this last fish is going to be called it starts with an R. It's what's left over. Do you remember? If you said remainder, you are absolutely correct. And now it's time for us to find our quotient. When we're looking for our quotient, we're going to ask ourselves, how many fish are inside of this one bowl right here? So let's look. Did you count the fish? Well, how many do we have? 3. As we're working today, you guys are I'm going to constantly recall Goldfish so that we can make the connection between what we just did together as review and what we're going to do together as a team. So let's get started. We're going to start on problem 3. It says, draw place value discs to represent the following problems. Rewrite each in unit form and solve. Y'all, unit form means words and numbers to express the value of a number. So we have the problem 600 divided by 3. 600 is the same thing as saying 6 thousands, 6 hundreds, 6 tens, or 6 ones. I promise y'all it's not a trick question. Where am I going to place these 6 discs? In the thousands, the hundreds, the tens, or the ones? My number is 600. If you said hundreds, you are absolutely correct. And I'm dividing it by 3 ones, you guys. So we're going to grab our pencil and we're going to draw 6 discs in the hundreds place. You should have paper and pencil and you should be following along with me. Please feel free to pause the video if you need to. How many groups am I breaking this place value chart into? My divisor, which is my smaller number, tells me how many groups. So out of 603, which one tells me the number of groups? Yeah, 3. So I'm breaking my place value chart into 3 groups. If you need to, go ahead and number your groups on the side so that you can verify that you have the correct amount of groups. And now it's time for us to distribute. Same thing we did with our fish. We're going to distribute a disc in a group and then cross it off when we're done. We are going to continue doing this until we run out of discs. Same as before, you do not go back to the same group until you've distributed to all of your groups first. Don't forget to cross it off when you're done. Now it's time for us to find our quotient. Remember, when we are finding our quotient, we are looking at one of those fish bowls. In this case, we're looking at one of our groups. Ooh, what in the world, Miss Turner? We're looking at one of our groups. And inside this group, how many discs do we have? Count them. How many? Yes, we have 2 discs in this one group, but we're in the hundreds place. How do I write 2 hundreds? Yeah, it's just 200, y'all. 200. I told y'all it wasn't a trick question. Did we have any discs left over? No, so our remainder is 0. And now it's time for us to find our check our work. We're going to take our quotient, which we found is 200 multiplied by our divisor. Which one of these numbers is our divisor? Is it 600 or 3? Which one? I agree. It's 3. So now we're multiplying 200 times 3. I don't know 200 times 3, but I do know 2 times 3, which is 6. And I took away 2 zeros, so I'm adding 2 zeros back in. My remainder was 0, so we know 600 plus 0 is 600. I went through this a little bit quickly because this is something we have been working on a ton, and I know that this is something that you are able to do on your own based off of how well you guys have been working. All right, friends, let's go ahead and do another one. In this problem, we have a similar problem. Instead, it says 6,000 divided by 3. 6,000 is the same thing as saying 6 thousands, 6 hundreds, 6 tens, or 6 ones. What do you think? Yeah, 6 thousands, y'all. I told y'all it wasn't a trick question. Divided by 3 ones. Let's go ahead and draw 6 discs in our, what place value are we drawing 6 discs in? Our thousands. 1, oh, wrong color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, friends, so we have 6 thousands or 6 discs in our thousands place. How many groups am I breaking my place value chart into? How many? Look back at your divisor. Remember, your divisor is your smaller number and it tells you the number of groups. Good. 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, you can go ahead and put your numbers on the side so that you can verify that you have the correct amount of groups. And now we're just going to distribute them. Remember, once you draw a disc, cross it off. And we're going to continue doing this until we run out of discs. And same as before, with those fish bowls, we looked at one of our bowls to find our quotient. So we're going to look at one of our groups to find our quotient. How many discs do I have in this one group? Count them. 2, but I'm in the thousands place. So how do I write 2 thousands? Yeah, 2,000. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So my quotient is 2,000. My remainder is 0 because I did not have anything left over. And now let's quickly check our work. Take our quotient times our divisor. Our divisor tells us how many groups we made. So how many groups do we make? Good, 3. I don't know 2,000 times 3, but I do know 2 times 3, which is 6. And I took away 3 zeros, so I'm adding 3 zeros back in, plus a remainder of 0, and we get 6,000 as our final answer. 6,000 matches our original total, so we are good to go. Let's go ahead and do another problem together. In this problem, it looks a little bit different, but it's the same concept. We have 150 divided by 5. You'll notice that in similar problems, or in previous problems, we had answers like 6 or numbers like 6,000, 5,000, 400, where we were easily able to tell what place value we were starting in. This time it's going to be a little bit different. The number 150. Do I have any thousands in this number? No. Do I have any hundreds in this number? I sure do. I have 100. Do I have any tens in this number? I do. I have 5 tens. Do I have any ones in this number? No, I don't. So 150 is the same thing as saying 105 tens. In this case, y'all, we're going to have to actually draw on our place value chart before we can fill in our top blank. And how many groups am I breaking this place value chart into? Look at your divisor. If you said 5, you are absolutely correct. 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to count on the side to make sure that you counted the correct amount of groups. And we always start in our largest place value. So am I going to start in my hundreds or my tens? Yeah, my hundreds because it's bigger. All right, friends. I am distributing 100 to all 5 groups. Can I do that? Can I distribute this one disc to 5 groups? No ma'am, no ham, no turkey, no cheese, no provolone, no tomato, no mayonnaise. I cannot do that. I know this because I simply don't have enough. So I'm going to need to what's that word? That's right, unbundle. And I'm going to unbundle this 100 to the tens. In order to do that, we need to ask ourselves, how many tens are inside of 100? Let's skip count by 10 until we get to the number 100. Hold up your fingers because we need to figure out how many fingers we have up. Get ready, go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. How many fingers do you have up? Good. 10 fingers. So that means that there are 10 tens inside of 100. So we're going to draw 10 more discs in the tens, please. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, how many tens do I have? I already had 5 tens and I added 10 more. So how many tens do I now have all together? If you said 15, you're absolutely correct. So 150 is the same thing as saying 15 tens. Now let's go ahead and distribute them. Our hundreds are no longer there, and now we're going to distribute every single disc in our tens until we run out. We have 15 of them, and we're distributing 15 discs to 5 groups. We need to see how many are going to be in each group. Notice how I'm crossing off as soon as I use a disc. This is so that I don't accidentally overcount or undercount for that matter. All right, same as before, we're finding our quotient. How many groups am I going to look at to find my quotient? If you said 1, you are absolutely correct. In this group, how many discs do I have? Count them. 3, and I'm in the tens place, so I have 3 tens. What number is that? 3 $10 bills, how much money is that? If you said 30, you are absolutely correct. So that means my quotient is 30. And that means that my remainder is 0 because I did not have any discs left out. Let's quickly check our work. Our quotient is 30. Our divisor is 5 because we made 5 groups. 3 times 5 is 15. And then we took a 0 away, so we have to add it back. Plus our remainder of 0, and we get 150. As a reminder, we're moving through our check our work section rather quickly because we have been doing this for several weeks. All right, here we go. Next one, 1,600 divided by 4. Same as before, this is not a perfect 10, so I'm not going to be able to say that this is just 1600s or 16,000s or 16 ones or 16 tens. I'm going to have to actually put this number on a place value chart. 1,600 means I have how many thousands? And how many hundreds? $1,600. There's my one. Oop, wrong color. There's my 1,000. Here's my 600s. How many groups am I breaking this place value chart into? Look at your divisor. 4. If you need to, write your number of groups on the side so that you know you have the correct amount of groups. And it's time to distribute, y'all. I know I'm starting all the way in my thousands place. If I do that, I have 1,000. Can I distribute 1,000 to all 4 groups? Absolutely not. So I need to If you said unbundle, you're absolutely correct. I'm unbundling. We need to figure out how many hundreds are inside of this 1,000. Let's count by 100 together until we get to the number 1,000. Hold those fingers up. Get ready. Go. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. How many fingers do we have up? 10. So that means that there are 10 hundreds inside of 1,000. So we're going to draw 10 more hundreds in our hundreds place. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't forget to cross off that 1,000 because we no longer need it. It's just time for us to distribute now. You know how to do this part. Go ahead and pause the video and make sure that your paper looks just like Miss Turner's when she's done distributing to all 4 groups. We need to figure out how many are in each group. I forgot to go back and cross off one of my discs. Please be careful to make sure that you are not making the same mistake. I just distributed all of my discs. I'm looking at one of my groups. How many discs do I have in this one group, friends? 4, but I'm in the hundreds place, so how would I write 4 hundreds? Easy peasy, y'all, we know this. My quotient is 400, my remainder is 0. Go ahead and check your work. 400 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. We add 2 more zeros. We have 1,600 plus a remainder of 0. We get 1,600. So that means that 1,600 is the same thing as saying 16. When we unbundled, how many hundreds do we have all together? Yeah, 16. So that means that 1,600 is the same thing as saying 16 hundreds. All right, friends. I want you guys to do this one on your own. Then when you're done, you can unpause the video to see if you got the same answer as Miss Turner. All right, here we go. My number was 1,200. So that means that I have 1,000 and I have 200s in this number. Your paper should have looked like mine. And then your divisor was 4, so you should have broken your place value chart into 4 groups. If you need to, go ahead and write on the side your groups. This is not a required step. And then you should have noticed that you cannot distribute your thousands. So you should have unbundled, I'll use another color, to the hundreds. And you should have noticed that there are 10 hundreds inside of 1,000. So you should have drawn 10 more hundreds. And now altogether, you found out that there are 12 hundreds inside of 1,200. Then you should have distributed. Make sure you're checking your work against what Ms. Turner's doing. Double check to make sure that you have crossed out all of your discs after using them, just to make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes. And then it's time for us to check one of our groups to find our quotient. You should have found that there are 3 discs inside of that group, and you're in the hundreds place. So you should have gotten 300s, which is the same thing as saying 300. So that means that your quotient is 300, and you should have gotten a remainder of 0. Did you get this on your paper when you did this problem by yourself? If you did not, then that means you need to go to the beginning of the video with paper and pencil again and make sure that you are practicing with Ms. Turner. I'm going to fill in the rest. Make sure you're checking your work against Ms. Turner's. Until next time, you guys. See you later.